Next, I'm gonna try to make me a grill. This is a piece of 5/16 thick aluminum plate, 6061. My mill only does about 12 inches wide, so this grill is gonna have to be done 2 passes. What I'm gonna do is make a boss and 2 bosses and line up, or bore a hole out on this side, bore a hole out on this side. It'll fit over the boss, and then I'll flip the whole thing over and put it on the bosses again and do the other side. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see how it goes. Made some hold down pieces for my mill bed, because this plate is going to stretch all the way from back there where I can clamp the edge all the way up here. So it's going to be lots of fun. Getting ready to roll here. I'm going to put a hole right there for the boss and a hole down here. I didn't realize it. My mill, that's absolutely as long as the mill would go. I had to move my bosses in a little bit on both sides, so my mill would have enough room to cut the bosses when I bolt them down to the table. But you can see my rim clamp, or my lip clamps back there holding the edge, the ones I showed you a second ago. So I'll make my boss holes here, and then the next thing I'll do is bolt my bosses down and mill them. Yeah, this thing has my mill maxed out. And here I've got all my little standoffs. I got them out of aluminum because I'm going to probably mill through a bunch of them. But I've got my 2 bosses here on the ends that the aluminum is going to line up to, and that's what's going to line it up on the grill. I'll have to put the grill on this way and do one side of it, and then I'll have to put it on this way and do the other side of it. So this is going to be a long process. It fit on there. I've got about 2 thousandths clearance on both the holes, and it's nice and tight. So I think when I flip it around, I'm not going to have much problem getting it perfectly lined up again. That plate had all the marks, the 6061 marks from the foundry, and then the scratches from their machines when they make it. And I wanted to kind of have a even. It really doesn't look even on this camera, but it's all just kind of a lightly sanded straight line. But there are only going to be little tiny pieces of the fin sticking up that you're going to see. So, just getting the first groove done. I got there's a groove cut around the outside here. There's the top of the radiator there. Starting on my grill bars. I'm milling the slots. It's gonna take a while. Yeah, I'm making a small dent. I put all these weights on here to try to keep it from vibrating, and it's doing pretty good. I've got to be real careful which side I do first, and it seems to work okay as long as I get so it doesn't cut off the connecting part until the very last cut. I'm sure you saw my weights I had on here the other day. Well, this thing, I flipped it over to the other side, and this thing was chattering so bad I wouldn't have been able to even talk on this thing. So I knew about shot bags, so I was trying to look up some shot bags on the internet, and then they were mentioning sandbags, and I thought, well, heck, I got sand, and I just got some 1-gallon plastic zip tie bags and filled 6 of them up with sand, and boy, it quieted it down. press now. Yeah, I don't, it's just zip tied in there right now, but there's what we got. I'm gonna go in and paint the radiator black, completely black, so that it shows through the best. I'd kind of hoped that from the side it was kind of invisible, and when the light's shining on it, it's definitely invisible, but well, it's kind of invisible here. But yeah, as you get up here, you can see it. So now I gotta just pull my radiator cover off, and there's a few little rust spots on it that I want to fix, and then fill in the Chevy hole and the old radiator cap hole up on top, and we'll be done with this part. Yeah, I got the grill in, and got my mounts made for the grill on the bottoms, and ran the wires through the tubes on both sides. And I didn't want to, but my radiator showing through that grill, if it's aluminum, it doesn't show very good. So I had a air conditioning condenser on it anyway that was black, so I just painted it's just flat radiator black paint, just so that it shows through the grill better. Didn't want to, because I like the nice pretty aluminum radiator, but I did. Here's something that I made when I was doing it. I think is a pretty good idea, but when you're putting these wires through so you don't have to run the wires up through the hole, I put these little slots on them, and then you just put them in that hole and then drop this bracket on down to that, and you don't have to run your wires through the hole every time you take your fans off. Got the grill done. I think it looks pretty good. I think next I need to work on take my bumper off and make just a chrome bar, whatever they call it, Nerf bar, whatever, and then mount my fenders and build my running boards. I got to put my pickup bed back on it with the fenders so I can see where to put the front fenders, but I'm getting a little closer every day.